All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Living Today. This is your host, Sharice Irons, the CEO and founder of Irons Group LLC. And this is where we inspire and empower female school leaders to find themselves authentically, develop themselves, leverage their strengths through perseverance, passion, and teamwork. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I am here with Trey Kearney, this week's Servant Leader Highlight. I am so excited to have her here with us. She is one of my favorite people. I know I say that every week, but there are different people just have a different place in my heart. I haven't seen Trey since 2018. The first time I met her, we were at a conference in New Jersey, and she was a panelist there. Two of my other friends, Oslin and I think Sharina, who've also been on the show, were at this event, and it was led by Charmaine Carter. Shout out to Charmaine right now, who's going through a challenging time. She just lost her dad. We just want to send our condolences to her. But Charmaine is the reason why I met Trey. And Trey is a servant leader. She is an amazing woman of God. She's out here doing amazing work in the relationship community. We call her the healing agent. So Trey, I just want to say welcome to my show, to the Living Today show. This is Friday Night Highlights, and this is where we highlight servant leaders. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored. I dressed up. I said, listen, this is so important. You know, when people recognize you, it's so important. I mean, whether it's a platform of 2 people or 2 million people, I just really am honored and blessed that you chose me to be on your platform tonight. And I thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm very excited to honor and recognize you. And just so you know, for those people that are just joining, every week we do a different servant leader highlight. And last year I started to do this just so to give Trey a heads up. And I know that a lot of people who watch this or watch the different episodes, this kind of came to me last year, I think in January, when I relaunched my show. So this used to be a radio show. And when I was in Baltimore, I used to do it on 105.7 The Fan. And then, last year in January, I relaunched the show. And then in February, it was like the Lord was like, you need to highlight servant leaders in the African-American community. And I didn't want it to be famous people, at least, celebrities. But to me, the people that are being highlighted are celebrities to me. These are people in the community that are doing the work that some people don't want to do. They are following their purpose. They're being called. God has called them to do certain things. And it's, people that are giving of themselves, because I believe that servant leadership is the highest quality of a leader. The first thing that you have to do as a leader is to serve, is to be humble. And that's why I do the show. And Trey is someone who is out there doing some hard work, some that's not really talked about. Infidelity.
Yes.
We're talking about protecting the family, the covenant relationship that is supposed to mirror our relationship with God. It's not something that we often talk about. It's something that we kind of grow up. It's normal for people to be out here, have this relationship, that relationship. This person show up to the party with this girl, that girl, the next girl. You've seen it. We've all seen it in our families, right?
Yep.
And it's not okay. So it's not normal. It's been made to be normal, but it's not normal. So tonight, before we get into that, let me just introduce you all to Trey. Trey is a servant leader whose assignment is helping others heal from matters of the heart. She's known for her method of helping others heal through her transparency and truth. Her testimony of going through the storm of infidelity on both sides, of not only being the offender, but also the recipient of betrayal, gives men and women the safe haven they need to be transparent and honest with themselves without judgment. Trey states, "I'm not here to judge you. I used to be you." So this is a safe space tonight, guys. We're going to talk about this, but in a loving way. Her motto is, "We have all fallen short of the mark." Trey feels as though she's equipped and ready for an assignment such as this, not only for her life experience, but also from the investments she has made and continues to put into herself for spiritual growth and personal development through several different courses, mentors, and coaching programs. These resources give her not only the tools to complete the task, but as she pours, she's continually being poured into. She believes you cannot pour from an empty cup. Trey's formula is truth plus transparency equals healing. Trey's here for those who are ready to heal. She's ready to walk with you hand in hand on your journey. She's a 2-time author. 2 of the books are, one book is called It's Healing Time, Restoring Hope in Women After Infidelity. The other is called It's Healing Time, Men Hurt Too. She's a certified coach with World Coach Institute. She's been involved in the entertainment industry for a long time. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trey Kearney. Okay, so we're going to talk tonight, and I'm so excited to have her here with us. I know, please excuse me, you guys, if you don't, she's my sister, so I'm going to have some fun with her tonight. So, yeah. Trey, let's get into it a little bit. One of the things I like to ask people is, how were you leading before, pre-COVID? What was your life like before we were, on lockdown and all that? What were you doing?
I was doing the same thing I'm doing now. Like, it doesn't change for me. Like, when I'm on purpose. I have a job to do. I have a task to do. I've been called to do something. So whether it's virtual, whether it's in person or on the phone, it doesn't matter to me. I just have to do what I need to do. I mean, all of us are struggling right now because, of course, we're confined to our homes to a certain degree now. And there's a certain level of fear that's going on because we really don't want to put ourselves, our families, or other people at risk. But my life really hasn't changed. I wasn't really this person I'm not really suffering being in the house. I'm a homebody. I like to stay home even on a Friday night.
Yeah. I know, me too. I'm the same way.
It's good for me. I'm like, why is everybody freaking out about going outside? Am I missing something? Well, I know the younger people is different for them, but I'm a woman of a certain age, so I'm not missing the clubs.
Right. Golly, the clubs. Ooh, haven't been to one of them in a long time. Lord, we telling our age in here. Okay. Right. That's good. So let's talk a little bit about wins and learns for you in 2020. What were some of the wins and learns that you had last year, you would say?
That we're not in control of everything. You know what I'm saying? God is in control, and sometimes you got to go with the flow. I mean, his flow, not the flow of the crowd, but you got to go with his flow. The word never changes. So if you are a person who's in the word, it doesn't change for you. But the lesson that I really learned from 2020 and dealing with COVID, because that whole year showed me that you're really not in as much control as you think you are. And you really need to trust. You really need to trust him right now, because it was a lot for me at the beginning, it was really a lot of fear of catching COVID, or what if I catch it? And it was so much that I had to just get off of the news. I had to turn the TV off because I was so consumed in it. I was, telling my family, you better not go out, you better not. And then I said, you know what? You really are doing too much. Like, how much trust and how much faith do you really have? But one thing I learned is that you're not in control as much as you think you are, because between God and, God, between the COVID, between Mother Nature, it just showed me that anything could happen, and just to be prepared, but to not be fearful of anything that's going to happen. And I lost my brother last year on a motorcycle accident. And that just, again, showed me, like, you're not in control. He was 51. And it just showed me, like, no matter what you go through, as long as you believe, you're going to be okay. Because I was okay. Not that he was gone, but I was okay with going through the process of the healing a lot faster. I'm a lot more resilient from the things that I've learned on my journey. So when he passed and a lot of things started happening with COVID and trying to, having to send Jermaine back out to school, I'm a lot more resilient now because my trust is a little bit stronger in my faith. I mean, sometimes I have moments where I'll be like, oh, yo, I'm tripping. And, I have my core around me, my 4 best friends who pull me back in, because you need that community around you as well. Yeah. But I learned in 2020, Trey, you are not in control of everything. God is in control, and be okay with that. Control what you can on your end, because I'm in control of some things, my decisions and things like that. But the inevitable, the things that you don't see coming, you don't have a crystal ball, just be okay and just trust God.
Yeah, that was very good. My condolences about your brother. That was definitely shocking to see that. And that's one of the things I learned last year too. It was so many things that was happening that you were just like, okay.
Control.
It was like what like what next? You know, it was like the hits just kept coming. And you're right, you don't have any control over it. So you had to trust and you learn to be more resilient. And you're right, your recovery time was a little bit shorter. As at least that's one of the things I realized too with myself, is that I learned to kind of just get up and just kind of keep it moving. Bounce back. It was a lot easier to bounce back. So let's talk a little bit about, you and the work that you're doing. So I like to frame conversations a lot around leadership and servant leadership and why you do what you do. So you have a movement. It's called the No Side Chicking movement, and you do a lot of work in the area of working with women and men and all of that. First of all, why did you even start this movement in the first place? Let's start there. Like, tell us a little bit about how you got to this place.
Well, I got there by committing adultery. So about 15 years ago, I went out on my marriage and I committed adultery. And along that journey, it just did not turn out good for everybody involved. Infidelity is a legacy destroyer. Infidelity destroys lives. Infidelity destroys families. I just learned through that the terrible trickle down of what infidelity does to families. And instead of learning from it and keeping it to myself, I felt like I needed to share so people could understand that this is what's going to happen. This is what could happen. And I don't ever want anybody to ever go through anything that I've been through, not even my worst enemy. Like, I don't even, when I see a dead end, I want to, there's a dead end coming. When I see you're about to fall off the cliff, like, listen, don't do that. And I just felt like it was important when I saw the trauma that it caused my children. I thought it was important, the trauma that it caused his children, because the man that I cheated with, he was also married, and it destroyed 4 families, literally, like 4 people. It wasn't just me and him. And a lot of times when people are committing adultery and people are doing things like that, they're only thinking of, it's the husband, the wife, the person you're sleeping with, and the other person. You know what I'm saying? If it's 2 married couples. No, it's a whole trickle down there. My family loved my ex-husband. They absolutely, they adore him still. They loved him. They adored him. They had relationship with him. So when I did what I did, it not only affected me, it affected my children. It affected my brothers and my sisters because they loved him. It affected the people who I had connected him to. Not only did it affect my ex who I was with him for a long time. We have a child together, the man that I cheated on my husband with. And it not only affected him, his ex-wife, their family loved him. Her father was his father. He was the son that he never had. So it was such a terrible trickle down and so much pain. And then on top of that, it was infidelity there. Like, he cheated on me, which it devastated me, that I was really, really hurt that he cheated on me. But what devastated me more, Sharice, was when I felt the pain that being betrayed and cheated on you does to you. I couldn't believe I had did that to 2 other people.
Right.
That broke my whole spirit. That broke my soul. That broke my heart, to think that the pain that I felt when I was betrayed and cheated on, that I had did that to somebody, because that's not at all who I am. I just was in the space of making bad choices. It is never an excuse for cheating, but people always ask me, why do people cheat? And my answer for every person that cheats is because they're immature. I was an immature woman. I didn't have any decision-making skills. I had no life skills. We talk about resilience. I didn't know how to be resilient. I didn't have communication skills. I didn't have decision-making skills. And when you don't have these life skills, you just out here winging it. And winging it is never good. So it was important for me to start a movement to help women, wives at first, because I had betrayed. I felt like I was the woman who betrayed everybody's wife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I felt like I was that girl. I'm like, I have to talk about this. So when the wives started to receive me, and I was the side chick, not only was I the wife, but I was the side chick that had destroyed a marriage. When they started receiving me and healing and hearing from my side that I didn't do this to hurt his wife, and a woman that's doing this to you is not doing it to hurt you. We are insecure. We have been abused. We have been misused in the name of love. We've gone through some things. So it's really not about you. So when the wives receive that, I said, you know, the other woman, the side chick, needs to be held accountable, because I was accountable for my part in the breakdown of that man's marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my fault. Yes, I was a home wrecker. So people say, you can't call people home wreckers. Yes, I can, because I'm not judging you. I used to be you. I was a home wrecker too. To God be the glory. I'm not anymore, but I was. That's what I did. I helped to wreck somebody home. It takes two to tango. I knew he was married.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a difference when you don't. And I had to say to myself, and I had to go do the work on myself. I got a coach, Dr. DC Marshall, and I had to say to myself, what is it about you that will make you think that it's okay to sleep with somebody's husband? Like, I had to analyze myself. I had to go deep inside myself. Why would you even play yourself like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you play second to somebody? What's wrong with you? Mm-hmm, so I had to turn the light on myself. But the reason why I started this movement is because I saw the devastation that infidelity caused so many people in my life. And I wanted to just share with people that you don't have to do this. You know, #NoSideChicken is a pledge that I have on my website, where I encourage women to take the pledge to honor, guard, and respect each other's relationships. I encourage them to take the pledge to honor, guard, and respect themselves in hopes of ending the infidelity epidemic.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you could go to TreyKearney.com and sign this pledge, yes?
Yep. You can go to TreyKearney.com and take the pledge. I pledge to not sleep with nobody else's man. And I pledge to respect myself, because so many women, and this is what drives me crazy, Sharice, so many women will say, well, he the one that's married, he the one that's. So what does it say about the content of your character that you would sleep with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance knowingly? What does that say about you? Let's remove him from the equation. What does that say about you as a woman? And this is what I want the women to know. You don't owe another woman anything, but you owe yourself respect. You're better than that. And we do owe each other love. We do owe each other respect, and we have to learn that. Like, we can't just go around here thinking that we can just tear each other up. And we are women. We want men to stop cheating. Men need to stop cheating. Why are men cheating? We want men to respect us as women. We don't respect each other as women, because we sleep with each other's men. So if we don't respect each other as women, why would men respect us? We teach people how to treat us as women, as a whole, as a community of women. We teach men how to treat us. So if half of us are over here sleeping with other people's men and half of us are not, there's a divide, and the men get to reap the benefits. Why would I do better if I'm being rewarded for my poor behavior? If my wife is fighting for me and his side chick is letting me come to her house, why would I do better? Like,
exactly. You got two people fighting for you. You're not. There's nobody holding you accountable or responsible for your behavior.
For your poor behavior.
Wow. For your poor behavior. You're just going to
it. And I always say this. At this point, it's not them, it's us. Because we are the antidote to the epidemic. We are the solution to our own problem. We are bosses and divas, and we are moving in the highest rate of entrepreneurship and education. We got all this on lock, except this one area that we refuse to come together. We can sit in all these boardrooms and we can start all these businesses, but if we don't come together in this area, we're going to continue to have broken children, because we're the ones who are breaking up our families when all we have to do is say no to somebody else's man.
Yeah. And like I said at the top of this is the marriages is the mirror of what we're supposed to look like. We have to reclaim our families, and that's how we do it, right? Is by saying no to a woman, saying no to a man who approaches her when you know that he's married. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the men, because you do an entire series. You wrote a book called It's Healing Time, Men Hurt Too. And you do an entire series pretty much every morning at this point at 9:00 on Facebook, and you stream it every Monday, I think it is, right? At 9. And you've interviewed, I don't even know how many men at this point. It's a lot. You've talked to a lot of different men. all different age groups, a lot of Black men. You've interviewed them, and you've given them, what I love about it is that you give them space to share their hurts, their accomplishments. You put them in an environment where they get to speak and talk about, everything that they're going through and their experiences, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, their wins, their learns, all of it. You give them the space to speak. So can you talk a little bit about why you wanted to do that, and why are you so passionate about that?
I'm passionate about it because we need to simultaneously heal, right? Men and women need to heal at the same time, right? I have it's Healing Time, Restoring Hope in Women After Infidelity, which led to hashtag no side chicking, but the men are being left out as usual. Men need resources. We go to a whole bunch of conferences as women, and we do retreats, and we do talks, and we do all kind of stuff to come together. We get together in church. We do all this stuff to heal women. If we continue to just heal ourselves, we're going to continue to run into broken men who come from being broken boys, who come from broken mothers.
That part.
Okay, so we gotta really, there's a whole dynamic here of how much control women are in, and how we're choosing to use that control in a bad way. Mm-hmm. If we look at our men, most of our Black men, or a high percentage, I'm not going to say most, because then everybody say, go do your statistics and all of that. Mm-hmm. A lot of our men, a high percentage of our men are raised in single parent homes with their mothers. Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at the men who are marrying our daughters, they're coming from a woman. But we got to look at the way that we're raising our men. So I wanted to give men a platform to share. Men hurt too. I've been, they had the whole Me Too movement, and I respect that and everything. But what drove me crazy about the Me Too movement, and I would love to interview the founder of the Me Too movement, because I always want to get in somebody's head and have a real conversation. What bothered me about the Me Too movement is that y'all threw R. Kelly under the bus. Like, y'all drugged this man and threw this man in jail. Mm-hmm. R. Kelly is Me Too. Me too. I was molested by my sister. He's not part of the Me Too movement. So I wanted to give men a platform so that we could hear their stories to see why there is an R. Kelly. Why are you violating young girls? Or why are you attracted to young girls? Why are you doing this? What happened to you? Let's talk about your blueprint from a young boy. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that. Tell me a little bit about how you grew up. So once we get to that part, and he says, when I was 9 years old, I was molested by my sister up until I was whatever age, we have a clear understanding of his behaviors. We're so busy throwing Black men under the bus and crucifying them. We will talk to a woman and find out she was molested, or we will talk to a woman and find out she was abandoned by her father. We will give grace and mercy. Oh my goodness, your father wasn't in your life. That's horrible. That's why you're sleeping around with men. That's why you're with this man that's beating you. But we won't give men that opportunity to listen to their story, to say, this is why you're doing this. So to get them the help that they need. For other men and for the world to hear their stories. I interviewed 42 men at this point.
Wow.
All of them had some trauma along their journey. And all of the men that I interviewed, to God be the glory, have all gotten help, mentors, therapists, coaches. They have all are on a journey and got the help. But without the help, they talk about that journey of being reckless. They talk about that journey of being a womanizer. My mother dropped me off at my grandmother's house and never came back. So I didn't trust women. So I got them before they got me. But that behavior came from somewhere. Yeah. So when we give men a safe space to be vulnerable and to share their experiences of why they have been molded the way that they've been molded, we can better understand them and we can better help them heal, because they need us to heal. They need Black men healed. I interviewed 42 Black men because I'm trying to help my community right now. Yes. Black men hurt too. And we cannot stop negating the fact that they are not have gone through, going through, and will go through. Because still they're being crucified. And the other day I said, that we're all talking about, we pray and we worry about our Black sons because of police brutality. I pray and I worry about my Black sons because of all society.
Yes.
Everybody crucifies them, not just the police. Black on Black crime, the police, Black women, wives, sisters, daughters, other men. Everybody's crucifying the Black men. So I pray hard for my boys because of the world. Because once they come out and that doctor slaps them and says it's a boy, they are no longer considered human beings, but males. And these are the expectations on you as a Black man. And these are the signs and the stickers that we stick on you as a Black man. You are a thug after a certain age. You are unreliable. You are not a leader. And this is all the stuff that they have to deal with and then go in the world and be happy. And we don't give space to express this, and we don't try to figure out why are Black men why can't Black men have healthy homes? Why are Black men not leading? So when we as women have joined and become co-conspirators with everybody else because we got a better job and we got a better degree, because we're getting better opportunities, because now Black women are popular. So while y'all are popular, we're going to turn y'all against the Black men. You make more money, you head of the household. You make more money, you got to listen to him, put him out. It ain't only welfare, the welfare system, it's the mentality of when a woman is elevating to push the Black man down, and we have to stop that. I respect the Black man who was a janitor. I respect the Black man who's the manager at McDonald's. I respect the Black man who's out here working every day, who's not getting the same opportunities because of the color of his skin, but he's still busting his butt to make ends meet for his family. He may not be able to buy you that Birkin bag. Stop looking at Cardi B. He may not be able to buy you that fur coat. Stop looking at Love and Hip Hop. But he's maintaining a household. He's a decent man, a decent father, and a decent husband. Those are the qualities we have to start respecting again.
Yes.
I
love that. It's okay, girl. Listen, I knew that you were going to bring it tonight. So listen, hello. Hi, everybody out there. If you're just joining us, I'm Sharice Irons. This is Trey Kearney. And we are here tonight. She's our servant leader highlight. And this is why I had her on here. Hello. Somebody's got to stand up for the brothers. I'm just saying.
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to. I'm a mom of a son. Y'all already know. Okay.
I'm a mom of 3 boys. I'm a boy mom. I have a 26-year-old, a 21-year-old, and an 11-year-old. And my fear is not of the police alone. My fear is of a Black prosecutor. Okay. My fear is of the Black prosecutor that wants to prosecute a Black man because you want to get up higher on the ranks. My fear is of a Black woman that my son is living with who is abusing him, who is, he's going through domestic violence, but since he's a Black man, oh, you can handle it. So what, your wife hit you? My issue is, my concern is on so many other different levels of things that go through my mind. It's just not my son being stopped by a police officer.
Yes, there's way more to it than that.
Job interview that he is qualified for, but even Black people, okay, come on. Even when my son walks into a building and the person interviewing him is a Black woman, you have decided that he ain't going to get the job. We got some real issues going on right now when it comes to our Black men. It is not just the white people that are oppressing our Black men. There's a whole other communities of people who are judging our Black men based on media, and they call themselves educated, and it drives me crazy.
And that's why she does that show. So if you haven't watched any of those episodes, one, you need to go back and watch probably every single episode, because she's
on YouTube.
They're on YouTube, on her and it's Trey Kearney. That's all. You just gotta type Trey Kearney, because I've watched pretty much probably all of those. And she's interviewed some powerful men. She's interviewed, regular, simple guys from around the way, and she's interviewed heavy hitters as well. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to have you on here and talk to you about why you do what you do. So if you want to know more about the No Side Chicken movement, number one, you need to go sign the pledge, okay? I already signed the pledge. Go to TreyKearney.com. Basically, if a man rolls up on you, he's married, just be like, bye-bye, okay? Just
go
that's
what you need to do. And tell him.
Just be on your way.
And tell him, not only are you being disrespectful to your wife, but you're being disrespectful to me. Who you think I am? And this is how women have to think about themselves. So many times their mind completely goes to the wife or the other girlfriend, the other woman, and say, I don't owe her nothing. When a man approaches you and you know that he is married, he is disrespecting you too. And you should say to not only to yourself, but you should say to him, who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think I am that I'm so desperate that I have to talk to somebody else's man? You need to tell yourself when you're about to cross that threshold, why am I about to sleep with a man that ain't even going to be able to be obligated to me, that's going to get up and leave me after I give him my body and go back home to his wife and probably sleep with her too? Mm-hmm. He ain't even going to take a shower when he leave you. Come on. How disrespectful. He just going to use you as a semen garbage can and walk out of there still with his sweat on him, go home, run to the shower, act like none of this happened, act like you don't exist because really you don't, and go with his wife and sit down and watch TV and laugh. Because a lot of side chicks, let me tell you, a lot of side chicks swear be devastated, they fighting and arguing at home, and he's sleeping in the other room. No, he ain't. You just allowing yourself to be used. He going right home to his wife who is unknowingly sleeping with a man who just slept with another woman, and most of the time unprotected. Mm-hmm. Why would you sleep with a man unprotected when you know he got a whole wife? And what makes you think that you're so special that if he's sleeping with you, why wouldn't you think that if he's sleeping with me and cheating on his wife, there possibly could be other women, and he's not even respecting his own body. So when we don't hold our men to a higher standard, we are enabling them.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes you got to let him go to let him grow. And I hold the wife accountable. Mm-hmm. And I hold the side chick accountable. I remove men from the equation and say to wives, why are you staying with a man when you know he's cheating? You're complaining about it, but you're not doing anything about it. And I don't advocate divorce at all. I love it. I'm a lover of love. I love marriage. I love family. But I do believe in a season of separation until you could get yourself together, because what you not going to do is come in this house 4:00 in the morning in front of my children and teach them, my son, that it's okay to treat a woman that way. And what you're not going to do is come in here 5:00 in the morning in front of your daughter and teach her that that's the way a man is supposed to treat her. So what you need to do is take your little bag back to wherever you was, because clearly you got somewhere to go, and go get your whole entire life together. Because when I married you, I didn't sign up for this.
Right.
So when you get yourself together, you want to get the help that you need, we could talk about you coming back home, but your bag's on the porch. Because wives, mount up. You can't just sit there and act like you don't have a say-so in this. And you can't just sit there and blame the other woman. And you can't just sit there and blame him. You got to take accountability for you, for your part and what you are allowing in your home. You are never responsible for a man cheating, ever. Ain't no woman on this planet. I don't care if she ain't sleeping with him. I don't care if she ain't cooking. I don't care if she ain't cleaning. You are not responsible for a man cheating. However, you can take accountability for your breakdown in the relationship, because long before the cheating happens, the relationship broke down. But you are not responsible for a man cheating, but you are responsible for what you allow to happen in your home. No, you can't come here with all of that. That's not what we doing no more. She can have you.
So I have a question, because I know you coach, right?
Yes.
And we have coaches on here. I'm just saying. So golly, God, I know we can't be in your coaching sessions, but do you coach men and women and couples and stuff like that? Or do you just coach?
Yes, I do. I coach both.
Yeah, because I know that you and I'm sure that you've coached people and they've been back together and stuff like that. Because
I have several couples whose marriages, and listen, to God be the glory. I'm never ever taking credit for what God uses me for. I have several couples who are together now, who are in healthy marriages, because this got to stop. Who I coached, and I just sat them down and asked them some real questions. The number one question is, do you want to be together? Yeah. Do you want to be together? Because this is not showing him, or this is not showing her, that you want to be together. And you have the option. Everybody deserves happiness. So if you ain't happy, you have the option to walk away.
Yes.
Nobody's going to kill you for walking away. If it's not what it is, or it ain't what it used to be, you get to walk away, but you don't get to cheat. You have every right to
that's crazy. You can't continue to be in that vicious cycle.
No, you have every right to say, we tried counseling, coaching, pastor. We tried everything and it's not working for us. So everybody has the right to be happy and everybody has a right to walk away. So we have no excuse for cheating because you have two legs to get up and say, this is not working for me no more. Cheating is always wrong on every level because you don't have to cheat because you can leave. So there is no excuse for it.
Period. Well, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Trey Kearney, and she's our servant leader highlight for the week, and she deals with matters of the heart. As you know, we love here, and we are talking about protecting the family, and that's and stopping infidelity. That's what it is. So let's switch it up a little bit. I know you're very passionate about autism because you do have one of your sons is on the autism spectrum. And if you don't know, like 1 in about 68 children have autism. And I think right now that's what the data says. And boys are like 5 times more likely to get autism, to be on the autism spectrum. So I know you're very passionate about this one organization called, I think Nassan's Place is what it's called.
Nassan's Place. Yes, Nassan's Place.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about what that's like to be the mom of a child on the autism spectrum and, going through that process.
We talked him up, but his brother's getting him right now. I'm sorry if you hear the noise in the background. It is.
I hear it. It's okay.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because it is Autism Awareness Month in April, but it's Autism Awareness Day for autism families all the time. And it's a journey. It's different it's different communicating with a child who's nonverbal. My son is 11 years old. He'll be 12 in May. And he's never spoken a word. So we had to learn how to communicate. But the thing that my son taught me is that we're living wrong. He has no judgment of anybody. He's oblivious to prejudice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I look at him and I'm like, I never want him to have autism. I know God is going to heal him. I know he's going to do great things. He'll probably be the first autistic president. But
I love that.
Right. I'm so happy that he does not understand certain things. Like he doesn't get it. So it doesn't hurt him. We go through so much because we don't live like them. But it's a challenge. It's really challenging. There's so many families who deal with different challenges because there's no 2 children who are alike on the spectrum. They don't know what causes autism. There's no medicine for it. There's no cure for it. So you are on this journey every day of learning something different. You don't know I don't know what the next day is going to be with him. I read an article the other day, or somebody posted on Instagram, an autism mom posted on Instagram that her 13-year-old son just started talking.
Yeah.
We don't know. He just started talking. He just said he wanted something to drink. Like
that's awesome.
We don't know.
The same thing happens with Jermaine one day. He'll just walk up to you and say, "Mom, I need something to drink," or something.
Oh, it is. It's coming. It's coming. I believe.
That'll be so awesome.
Talk, but it's challenging and rewarding. He's a wonderful child. He's loving and affectionate, and we can't listen to what doctors say. We can't listen to what experts say. We have to learn from our own children because when I first got the diagnosis that Jermaine was autistic and I started looking into autism, they were saying that children on the spectrum are not loving and children on the spectrum don't have eye contact and children on the spectrum don't eat and children on the spectrum they have trouble going to bed. Jermaine is none of them things. Jermaine eats. Okay, Jermaine thinks I'm his woman. Now at 12. I'm like, Jermaine, back up off me. He come give me a little love tap. I'm like, like, nah, dude. Like, you gotta go over there with that. I'm your mama. I ain't your girlfriend. He googly eyeing me. They tell you all of these things. So the parents who are listening right now, and I'm so glad because it's autism. Listen, every child is different. Your child might not eat. I know atypical children who don't eat, who are picky eaters. Yeah. I know normal, and we don't like to say normal, but normal kids who give their mother and father challenges every night when they go to bed. I know normal kids who are horrible that I see in restaurants, and I'm looking at them like, they're not even on the spectrum. They can't
right.
Normal child. Jermaine is sitting on his tablet, chilling, because we so over, we on top of them, like, we don't want to disturb people. And I see these people with these atypical or normal, whatever you want to call them, just wilding out. I'm like, no, he's not on the spectrum. See, they give our babies a bad name. We're not doing that no more. Get your kid.
Are you sure your child is okay?
I'm looking like, okay, like, what is going on? And I'm on Jermaine, like, sit still, don't move, put that down, don't touch that. And I'm looking at I'm like, the he is bugging out right now. So it's just a journey, Sharice. I wouldn't trade Jermaine for the world. What I believe, God, God doesn't make mistakes. No. He chose me to be his mother for a reason. And he chose him to be my son for a reason. He has taught me the meaning of unconditional love. He has taught me how to communicate without words. He has taught me how to love without words. Like, I know Jermaine loves me. Like, Jermaine loves, like, his actions and his body language and all. He has taught me so much more than any regular person could ever teach me.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And I love that. I always love the pictures you post, and when you do your autism mommy moments and you share whatever story you're sharing about that. And you're always that's what I love about you. You're always so transparent, and you just tell it like it is, and you just give it to us straight, no chaser. I love that. I'm always like, geez, man. I love that. I can always count on you to just come right and just hit it hard. Some days I'm like, ooh, okay, Trey. I'm like, that's what Trey today.
Listen, I'm my mother's child. I get it from my mama. My mama was a good shooter. Like, truth plus transparency equals healing. As
it is.
We share our truth and be transparent, we are going to help people heal around us. And those other people who are telling their truth and being transparent, they're going to help me heal. Like, it just goes around in a circle. People need, and I'm not saying be like mean and nasty to people. No. I'm saying there's a level of accountability that people who love you give you. If a person does not hold you accountable to a higher standard, that's not real love. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your greatest hater is sitting right next to you. The person who is condoning your bad behavior, who is saying things like, you got to do whatever makes you happy. You got to look at those people and understand that those are not the people that love you. They're waiting for you to fail. They know about, and we'll say karma, but I don't call it karma. I call it you reap what you sow, because that's what the Bible says. The Bible says nothing about karma. The Bible says you will reap what you sow. Okay. So if you plant seeds of discord, that is what you are going to reap. So when you have a person around you that is condoning your poor behavior, they want to see you fail. I will love the people who I love. I will tell them the truth and risk losing them for a season than to see them do something that's going to destroy their life.
Oh yeah, and I've seen you do that. Like, you're good at that. I mean, I've seen you do it live in person, and I've seen you do it. Oh yeah, I've seen you do that for real. Okay, so this is a part of the show where I always like to express why I bring people on the show. So the servant leaders that we highlight on the show are people who are self-aware, they're active listeners, they're compassionate, they're visionary, they're intuitive, they're healers. They look at the whole person. They're community builders, they're stewards, they're committed to the growth of others, and they are persuasive. You, my dear, are definitely a servant leader and a healer. You are all about healing. And one of the things, I think her name is Dr. Carolyn Leaf, she's always saying that, feeling is healing. And when I go to chiropractor, he has on the wall that healing takes time and repetition. Yes. And Trey, tonight I want to take this time to say thank you for all the work that you're doing in our community. We honor you, we see you, we love you, we value you. And I just want to say thank you, my sister, my big sister. And from the day when I saw you in Jersey, and you were like, my mom was sitting next to me that day, and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe she just told everybody that. And I was, my mom is like, she's old school from the islands. And she was like, Sharice, did she just said that? I'm like, yeah. She said, wow. Oh my God, she just told everyone that. I'm like, yes, she did. And you know what? For me, it was a very powerful moment. And I just want to tell you that I totally honor you. We value you. We see you. And Thank you and congratulations for all the work that you're doing. Take a bow, my sister.
Thank you so much. Listen, like I said before, that means so much to me. I got dressed up because I'm being honored tonight. I got a little dress on, some lipstick, some makeup. I didn't pin my hair because if y'all saw me earlier, y'all would be like, wait, who's this person? No, I value this so much because so many times we're looking for accolades from, the Grammys. I feel like when my peers respect me, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. When God sends me confirmation from Sharice Irons, iron sharpens irons, I am blessed and highly favored, and it keeps me going in the right direction to know that my work is not in vain, because like you said, the area that I'm in, nobody wants to talk about this. So there are mornings when I get up and I don't want to talk about it because I'm like, God, they don't want to talk about this. They are not inviting me on their platforms. I should be at every women's conference. And I'm not saying that because I'm the baddest speaker or the baddest chicken room. I'm saying that because this is an epidemic and we need to talk about this at every women's empowerment conference. When you have 100 women in a room, 500 women in a room, 1,000 women in a room, 2 women in a room, we need to have this 15-minute conversation to set the tone of where we are not winning. And we are not winning in this area where families are being destroyed because of one of us. But they don't invite me there. And it irks me and it hurts me because I've brought people on my platform. I think, why wouldn't they invite me on their platform? And God said, because I'm going to get the glory. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take you where you need to go. You just get up and talk to that one woman. Yeah. I don't want I don't want you there. I want you right here. So when he brings me to these platforms with a person like Sharice, it is an honor and a privilege because I know I'm here because God wants me here on purpose, because you respect the movement. I don't want to be places where people don't respect the movement, because you want to see this change. I need soldiers that are on the same plane, on the same team as me, who got my back, who are pulling me from the front and pushing me from behind to keep going. So I totally 150% appreciate you so much for even thinking of me. And I love you.
I love you too, Trey. And because I do this because I love servant leadership, number one. And for you, I love just like you do. I value the covenant relationship and I value marriage. And this is something that we have to do. We have to take back our families. And, it's just, we are called, this is something that's important. If we want to win the war of what's happening in our world, we need to protect our families, period.
Yes.
And that's the way we do it. So yes, I support you. Yes, I got your back. And yes, in prayer, in person, physically, spiritually. Yes, that's what I do. So I'm so glad that I was able to do this. And I just want to say, do you have any final thoughts before I close out tonight?
My final thought is that let's just be decent human beings. If we all were just decent human beings, let me just say this. Well, like I told my sons a long time ago, like if I had just lived by the 10 commandments, my life would be totally different. Not even the whole Bible. If I just had the 10 commandments placed on my wall, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, if I just had those 10 rules and I followed those 10 rules, we wouldn't be sitting here talking today because I tell people all the time, like, they're like, you can't judge me. I'm not judging anybody. I think I broke all 10 commandments, including murder, because I didn't murder some people's spirits, some people's livelihood. I think I have committed all 10 commandments. So my thing for everybody right now, between hashtag no side chicken, men hurt too, is healing time, restoring hope in women after infidelity. We are all human beings. And if we all were just decent people, the world would be a better place. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be nice, be kind, and everything will turn out right if we are all accountable for ourselves. I'm a good person because I want to be a good person. I don't want to do bad. I don't want to do anything bad to anybody. And if we all thought that way, the world would be wonderful.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Trey. And I definitely 100% agree with that. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an amazing show. Like I knew it was going to be. Listen, go to Trey's website, treykearney.com. She's on Instagram. She's on YouTube. She's on Facebook. Pretty much every single platform as treykearney.com. When you go to treykearney.com, you will see the no side chicken pledge. Take the pledge. You can also purchase both of the books. They're both there. If you want to buy them. She also has a shirt that says no side chicken. So there's apparel, and there's also the Men Hurt Too shirt as well. So if you want to follow her, every Monday 9 a.m. Facebook, she always goes live with when she's interviewing different men and talking to them. So listen, I am so happy once again to have had you on here. Congratulations for being this week's Servant Leader Highlight. Keep doing what you're doing. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been Living Today. I am your host, Sharice Irons. And listen, as I always love to tell you, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And like Trey said, there's a lot of negative stuff going on in the world. All you got to do sometimes is just smile and be kind. Okay? Take care, everybody, and have a blessed and amazing weekend. See you guys next Friday.